Hi everybody, I'm StormySky and I like to read. So on my book blog, on WordPress, StormySkyReads.blog/blog, I think, I've written a lot of really positive reviews about books, and so I decided to start my YouTube channel with a negative review because I thought it'd be fun to mix it up. So today I'm reviewing Joanne Fluke's Danish Murder. It's a Hannah Swensen novel, and it's the 22nd novel in the series. And I listened to the audiobook recording by Suzanne Toren. First of all, I just want to say that I would give the recording a 4 out of 5. I thought it was pretty standard. It was a really solid recording. There wasn't really anything that made me like adore it or like feel like there were like extra things about it that made it like hit that 5 out of 5 mark, but I did think it was a really good job. So 4 out of 5 for the narration. So for the book itself, the Joanne Fluke writes Hannah Swensen book 22, I would give it a 2 out of 5. So I'm just putting that out there now. So if you were a big fan of this book, you might not want to watch this video, like, to be totally honest. I'm not going to be mean, but this just wasn't my favorite book. And to be fair, I'm not going to like everything, and my ratings are based on my opinions. So that being said, let's get started. I would like to start with things that were positive, because there were positive things about this book. First of all, it was very compelling. I really didn't like the book, but I finished it. Like, I had to know what happened. I think that Fluke does a really good job of putting together a story and then putting just enough bits of information about like the really plot sensitive stuff. Speaking of the plot, this book is about Hannah trying to solve the murder of an acquaintance of her, but a friend of her younger sister, Michelle. PK. He gets murdered, and so they need to find out what happened. And for those of you who don't know, Hannah Swensen is a baker who solves crimes. And I just want to she runs a bakery called the Cookie Jar, which is the best name for a bakery, for the record. And I'm just gonna talk real fast. That is the coolest concept for a mystery novel that I can think of. Like, I thought that the series sounded so cool when I first heard about it, because like, why not write about the baker who solves crimes on the side? That's fun, you know? So I thought that was really cool. So back to the compelling writing. There were just like enough pieces of the plot thrown in, like the murder plot, to make it keep going. Even though there were like some other things that I didn't appreciate, but there was just enough of that stuff to make me want to know what happens. Like, I had to know who murdered PK. Why did they murder him? He seemed nice. Like, I had to find out. So A+ on writing a compelling narrative. I needed to know. I know, not gonna give away spoilers, but yeah. So I stayed till the end, even though I did not enjoy the journey. And I feel like that says something good about Fluke's writing style. So another thing that I thought was cool about the book that I really liked was the insertion of recipes throughout the story. So at the end of not all of the chapters, but almost all of the chapters, there was a recipe from something that was baked or cooked in the story. Like, there's even a recipe for dip. Like, there were a lot of things that the characters ate that were then included in recipe form at the end of chapters. And something I thought was especially cool about this is there were like little notes from Hannah, our main character, about how she would like change the recipe a little bit, like mix it up. So I thought that was really fun, because first of all, you get 2 ways to make a recipe. Second of all, it's just a little something extra that I thought made the story a little, it was just fun. I thought that was cool. And if like a library or a bookstore wanted to promote the work, like if you're promoting this book, you make raspberry danishes. and you use the Hannah Swenson recipe. That's built-in promotion, which I thought was really cool. I thought that was neat. Another thing I really liked about the book were, so speaking of food, it made me hungry sometimes. The characters eat a lot of food, and the food is described in such a way where I'm just like, oh, that sounds amazing right now. Or, oh, I would like some coffee. They keep having coffee and sweets. I love coffee and pastries and sweets. So I would also throw in that the descriptions of the food were remarkable. It all sounds good. I eat everything, but that stuff sounded delicious. And another thing I liked were the side characters. I really liked her little sister Michelle. She was this really sweet college student who was helping out. She was doing a work study, teaching theater, helping run a school play for the high school. And I just thought she was really sweet, and I really enjoyed reading about her. And I also liked Hannah's cat Moishe, and Hannah's friend Norman's cat Cuddles. There was a Moishe and Cuddles plot throughout the story, so that was fun. So yeah, there were things that I enjoyed about this book, not gonna lie, but there were also things that I did not like about this book. I didn't like Hannah. She is okay, so put the knives away, please. So the thing is, she's constantly judging people, in her head. We are in Hannah's inner thoughts, and she is constantly food shaming people. At the beginning of the book, she's thinking about how if life was fair, her little sister, who eats all these sweets and doesn't exercise, would be a lot heavier than she is. Why is a baker thinking that? That doesn't make sense. Also, it's extremely fat phobic to act like weighing a lot is a punishment for eating food. And she's just constantly judging people for the way that they eat. And I really didn't like reading about that, because it's just that this is the character I'm supposed to root for. I'm in Hannah's head when I'm reading this, and I'm supposed to like her, but she's thinking all this stuff that I strongly disagree with. So Hannah was not my favorite character, which is a big part of why I just didn't like this book. Another thing I didn't like was there's this piece of the side plot that led up to a joke. It was okay, where it seemed like perhaps her cat was sick. Her cat was fine. I will give that spoiler away, because it really bothered me, because I really hate it when animals die in books out of nowhere, or they're sick out of nowhere. So that bothered me a lot. A lot of this stuff is really just my personal this was not for me type of information. Also, the way that the characters talked sometimes, I just felt the dialogue was a little bit stiff. And if I don't hear the word fooddar, food radar, ever again in my entire life, it will be too soon. This was just, I didn't like the dialogue that much. And it sometimes seemed like the characters knew what the other characters were going to do a little bit too often. I know that people know each other well sometimes, and I have a sibling. I get the sibling kind of can guess what the other sibling's going to do thing, but it happened in such a frequency where it was kind of awkward to see in a book. So yeah, there were just a lot of bits and pieces that all these things happen so often in the book that it kind of just ruined my experience reading it. There was also this really awkward stuff with gender, where the guys were expected to do certain things and the women were expected to do other things, and it just really doesn't align with my life views, so it's just awkward to read about sometimes. That's more of a personal complaint, not really a big book critique. But there is also this moment in the book when Hannah's mom accuses her of something pretty bad, and 2 seconds later they're just laughing about it as if it was funny that her mom said something really horrible and then said she was extremely disappointed in her. I just didn't think that that made a lot of sense. And I don't want to get into spoilers, so I can't really say what it was, but it just bothered me a lot. So yeah, this book was an experience. So yeah, in summary, this was not my favorite book in the world. I give it a 2 out of 5, but I give it a 2 out of 5 instead of a 1 out of 5 because there were things that I liked about it, and it was compelling enough to get me to stay from beginning to end. I know what happened. I know who murdered PK. Like, I'm good to go as far as the book goes. I don't think I will be reading another Hannah Swenson book just because, I mean, if you don't like the main character, you're not going to have fun reading the other books. And I have read one of the other books before, and I thought, okay, maybe that one just wasn't for me, and I'll try another book. I won't be trying another book with this series. I tried 2. I'm good to go. But they are very compelling books if you're into the cozy mystery thing. Like, they eat a lot of food. It is a very cozy setting because they're constantly like in the snow, and then they go inside where it's nice and warm and they have their coffee, and then they're eating like nice sweets and stuff. So if that's something that you're interested in, I definitely would give this book series a try. It just really wasn't for me. So yeah, 2 out of 5, and please subscribe if you want to see more videos. A lot of them are probably going to be happier and, you know, a higher rating, because I usually I don't finish books that I don't like. Like, I just don't, because why would I waste my time reading something that I didn't enjoy, you know? Life is too short to do that. Sometimes books are extremely compelling, even if I don't like them, though. So that's why I finished this one. Goodness. So yeah, I'm Stormy Sky. I like to read. Please like this video, and, you know, leave a comment down below if you would like to chat about Joanne Fluke's Raspberry Danish Murder, or if you want to suggest another cozy mystery for me to try out, because now I'm very curious about that, like, genre of book. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. Bye!